Good morning, Royal Roads. How are you doing out there? I just want to make sure you're awake. My wife always tells me, hey, honey, there's actually a loudspeaker system, so don't yell at the crowd. Well, thanks very much to the Chancellor, Wayne Stranlin, to our President, Alan Cahoon, to Dr. Bird. Thanks very much for that very kind introduction. Faculty and staff of Royal Roads, the folks in the back may want to turn down the speaker here because I am going to speak up a bit. Distinguished guests, graduates, families, and friends. Thank you so much for welcoming Leslie and I back to Victoria, to Royal Roads, to the very campus where my career began 40 years ago. It is wonderful to be part of the 75th anniversary of this great Canadian institution, and for which Canada is so proud. It is with deep gratitude and indeed humility that I accept this honor. And I wish to thank the Chancellor, the President, the Board of Governors, and the faculty of Royal Roads for recognizing my service to Canada with this award. I have enormous respect and admiration for this institution and for you, the graduates, who are the recipients of the knowledge and the wisdom that this university has instilled in you. Royal Roads may not be the largest university in Canada, but it excels in its forward thinking, in its ability to transform people's careers like mine, and indeed the lives through outstanding education, quality research, by creating opportunities around the world. It also has the most beautiful campus in the world. Congratulations to all of you graduating today. You are rightfully proud for the great achievement for which you have worked for so hard and for so long. Today is your day. Many of you have already accomplished so much in your careers, either here in Canada or in your respective nations. You have demonstrated the knowledge, the skills, and the determination to transform your careers and to reach even higher. Well done. And you share this wonderful day with your families. A debt of gratitude is owed to your families who have supported you, whether you were in the distance learning program or in residence. Your families have sacrificed a great deal to support you and your educational goals. Their love, their care, and their support sustains you throughout this adventure. And I'd just like to take this opportunity that all of us give our families a round of applause. Now, folks, I want to confess to you some personal information. The last time I was in this theater was in 1977, and I was attending a folk rock concert. Now, many of you are too young to remember the great band, Valdi and the Hometown Band. Some of you do. Now, let me tell you, you were, as an audience, you're looking far more elegant and sophisticated than we looked back in '77. But the concert was just a few months before my graduation, and I got to share with you that I was very lucky to be graduating. You see, had it not been for the extraordinary, caring staff of Royal Roads back then, just like right now, I certainly would not be here receiving this degree. So I wish to dedicate this honor to someone who was instrumental in my successful completion of studies, and that was Dr. Eric Graham, the Director of Studies between 1961 and 1984. And in his memory, all the faculty, including the present faculty today. You see, Dr. Graham was the person responsible for retaining me in the Canadian Armed Forces, even though I had significant difficulty in my transition from a Manitoba high school to college studies here at Royal Roads. It was Dr. Graham who, in addition to leading the academic staff, was my own academic advisor. Now, he must have seen something in me, and I often wonder what he saw, because I spent a lot of my time on the rugby pitch that's in front of that parking lot that everyone parks on, or on the tug-of-war team up on the top of the hill there. Perhaps if I'd spent more time in the labs or in tutorials, my career would have taken a very different path. But as it was, things worked out okay. Now, as I reflected on my career and I contemplated the lessons that may be of some value to you, I was reminded of a time right after my retirement from the Canadian Armed Forces. Now, I got to admit that while I was in uniform, and especially on those tough days, I would start dreaming of retirement. You know what that feels like. Everyone has that little dream of retirement. Well, you know, it's really tough because when you dream of retirement, you dream of spending more time on the hobbies you like. For my part, having time to sail with my wife, Leslie, perhaps go fishing or take up whatever new hobby I wanted to. However, after only 2 months of retiring as the Chief of Defense Staff, I came to the realization that retirement is overrated. Yes, see, when you retire, think about this, when you retire, your entire family knows that you have time on your hands, and they're going to ask you for help. So, if you can imagine me, 2 months after I took off my uniform, on a Saturday morning, February, Ottawa, minus 25 degrees, 0700, and I'm walking 3 dogs, none of which are mine. Their owners are my loved ones who have gone on holiday somewhere south. I'm the retiree, and I'm walking their dog. And to make matters worse, while bending over to pick up yet another pile of doggy doo-doo, a neighbor who I love sticks her head out of the back door and says, "Oh, how the mighty have fallen." Well, ladies and gentlemen, at that moment, I realized 2 things. Number 1, I needed to find something else to do. But number 2, I reflected that I hadn't fallen. Because my time in uniform wasn't about me. It was about service. And really, that's my central point this morning. It was here at Royal Roads where we learned as young cadets that to succeed, we needed to place service ahead of our own needs. I learned that to truly serve our nation, our unit, or our profession, that as a leader we must be guided by our values, that we needed to balance our ambition, and we needed to assist others to succeed. And I want to talk about each of these in turn. First, it's fundamental that a leader is guided by the values that they believe in. And my advice to you is whatever profession that you work in, that you choose, you must embrace, you must live your values. While we were here at Royal Roads, the values drummed into us, the same values on the university mace: truth, duty, and valor. Truth meant to live, to speak, to act the truth, to strive to achieve the highest professional standards of morals and ethics, to be beyond reproach, to speak truth to power, and that's hard to do. But truth builds trust, the essential ingredient for success. Duty means to place service before self, to recognize that one's duty is to enable the success of your unit, your peers, and your subordinates. Your success relies on their success. We valued being part of something greater than ourselves, to be part of a team where everyone had to surrender a little bit of their independence to support the greater good. Valor is to lead with courage, to take on the difficult issues right away, to lead from the front and to share the risks at the front, but also go to the problem and deal with it. My advice to the leadership team, whether it was in the Canadian Forces, the Space Agency, or now with Veterans Affairs, when you have to deal with a difficult or an unpopular issue, go ugly early. Go to the problem and deal with it right away, because it only gets worse over time if it's not addressed. And one must have courage to do what is right. The second lesson I learned is that successful leaders have a common character trait, and that is humility. They find the right balance between healthy ambition that encourages them to achieve great things with the humility to recognize the importance of respecting and supporting their peers and subordinates. Where ambition is unbridled and the driving characteristic, then ambition can become the virtual yoke on your shoulders, weighing you down and sometimes leading to the compromising of values, undermining cohesion and undermining the success of your organization. My advice to all of you, declare success early. Whether that success is defined in your professional life, your family life, your athletic life. Remove that yoke of ambition and enjoy life. Strive to achieve, but find the right balance for you and your families to ensure that your families are there with you when you cross that finish line of your careers. Finally, I encourage you to follow the example of Dr. Graham, who for decades here at Royal Roads taught, coached, and mentored those who would become the leaders of the Canadian Armed Forces. It's not enough that you achieve excellence in your chosen field, in your profession, in your organizations. It is essential that you select the future leaders who have the ability to take your place and to train them and prepare them to continue in the legacy of success. I was so fortunate that Dr. Graham and the staff at Royal Roads thought I had the stuff to succeed, and they mentored me through some pretty tough days. So I have great conviction in the belief that's incumbent on us as senior leaders to prepare our successors to succeed, allow them to take risks, delegate responsibility to them, empower them to make those decisions, get out of the way, and trust them to get on with it. Because there will be no choice but for allowing them to assume those duties and responsibilities when you and I retire. So prepare them early through your teaching, your coaching, and your mentoring. My advice to you is to remember that success is not about you, it's about the greater good. Ladies and gentlemen, Royal Roads gave my peers and I a great education. Roads ensured that we were really physically fit, but it taught us how to be leaders, just like it taught you how to be leaders. It is wonderful to see the traditions of this great institution continue and live on with your personal achievements. And I trust that all of you have the knowledge, the skills, and the confidence and determination to succeed in the next phase of your careers. Congratulations again on your graduation, and I hope these few lessons of my experience may be of some value to you. I am truly thankful and very proud to be a graduate of Royal Roads. I am humbled by this honor that you've bestowed upon me. Merci, thank you.